Hey, welcome back to Innovation Corner. In the last video, I talked about the number one thing that I see that slows projects from idea to launch, and that was about the amount of ideas and projects that are in the funnel. I related that to a drive home from loved ones over the holiday, how you're getting on, then there's a toll booth and everything's stuck at the toll booth, and you get through and then you hit construction and then you're going and then there's a police on the side of the road. Anytime there's more cars than the road was designed for, any little hiccup can cause that entire road to shut down. Now you can go into queuing theory and look at all of the mathematical reasons behind that. There's a bunch of different formulas that exist that you can look up on and calculate specifically to your situation. But you just know from practice what it's like being on a road when it's at rush hour or when it's on the holidays. And that is the exact same thing that I see when dealing with portfolio, project, or idea management. So what I'm going to talk about now is how to deal with your project or idea list. Your goal should be to get it to a point where the road that you've designed can handle the amount of traffic that you're putting on it. So I talked a little bit about some of the elements in the last video that can lead to constrictions or that can make things faster. I'm talking purely about the list right now. A lot of the organizations I go to, when they create this list, it'll be the first time that anyone has seen the complete list. Now, the important projects get talked about all the time. We need to make sure that the ones that are important to the C-suite, the CEO, the CFO that's put in ones for already in the FP&A for the future, the forecasts. What about the technologists and the ones that they're working on? Maybe it's IT and their upgrades. Any initiatives, this could be HR initiative, what things are going on within your organization that are projects that need to be prioritized. Now, what we have to do after this is we need to come up with a list of criteria because we need to put all of these through this criteria filter. Now, as a leadership team, you can determine what are the things that go into what on your criteria list. This should be at a maximum 6, 7 criteria that you're going to use. I like to see 3 to 5, but sometimes the list can't be that short. Come up with a list of things that are important that you can sit down and decide if this car has to go through, if this project has to go through, this is why we're allowing it to go through. You may be surprised at what happens on the other side. So for the first time, you may come up with a prioritized list where you are saying these are the projects that are important to us. So you can have them listed out 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way down to project Z. If you're a large organization, this could be 100. If you're a small organization, this could be as few as 4. And what I want you to do next with the list is going to cause a little bit of angst, but do it anyway. I want you to take this and cut it in half. So let's say you have 50 projects, 25 are going to be on top, 25 are going to be on bottom. And then just hold these for now. We'll talk about these in a minute. This top 50%, I want you to split it again in half. So you've got your top 25%, your top quartile. These are the ones that we think are the most important. The next one, your next 25%. Now, the very first thing that I see happen when I'm in a room with executives and we have this list, prioritized list, is people are going to argue on why these need to be higher. There are very few places that I go where people aren't committed to delivering these projects. In fact, there's a lot of times I've seen it where they say every single project on this list is as equally important. Now we know that if traffic is going to get home for the holidays, they all should get there as fast as they can so people can recover and get back to work. But that doesn't happen. The travel time is always extended. And our goal here is to get a project from idea to launch as fast as possible. And this is your first practical way to do it. Now, you need to commit to, as a leadership team, if this is not in the right order, go back and look at your criteria or make some intuitive adjustments. But that bottom 50% on hold for now, the top 25%, you need to put 100% of your corporate resources into this top 25%. Any project that's getting worked on should be in here. And if they're not in the top 25%, they shouldn't be getting worked on. Now, You can think of some of you who live in major cities, there's a little traffic light on the side of exit ramps during rush hour. It stays red and then it'll flash green when a car is okay to go on the road. This top 25 is going to act like our light. When we get one that's launched, it's gone to ops, they can sell it now, the next one can come up from here. So we can fill it. So this next 25% is our buffer. It's our ideas that are going to fill in as soon as those are complete. Now you're going to say, what happens to those bottom 50%? And this may be the most traumatic thing that you hear from me. I want you to delete them. Erase them from memory. Get rid of them. Don't look at them again. And you say, oh, but those were all great ideas, or oh, we've committed to those already. The bottom line is you can't get them out in time. And you're probably not working that hard on them anyway. People may say they are, they may be generating reports that they are, but the bottom line is the managers and the line level employees are not putting the necessary effort into getting that. And if you keep them in there, all we're doing is creating a grind of gridlock, like South Chicago. Okay, now, so get this list, get the top 25%, feed with the next 25%, and then you're going to have ideas that come in. When this starts to get empty, you've got new ideas, new market opportunities, new trade show things, new competitive reactions that are going to feed this next 25%. So if we want to get the idea to launch time as quick as possible, the first thing we need to do is come up with a prioritized list and work on the top quartile. Once those are done, we can work on the next quartile. Then we should have a robust funnel feeding great ideas. Obviously, we think that this should be done with expert facilitation. It's very difficult for teams to come up with criteria on their own, to have the right cross-functional representation, to be subjective to the situation, and you can create this list. So, if nothing else, do this exercise for yourself, see what it looks like. Until next time, I'm Adam Ward.